Hamilton Watch Company was founded in 1892 here in the United States of America, specifically in Amish country in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, which is just a gorgeous area of the country, rolling hills, verdant trees. I visited the factory where so many pocket watches and movements and wrist watches and desk clocks, even time bombs for the Allied forces in World War II were produced at. So I visited the building. I've actually stayed in the building. It is now luxury condominiums that I've had the opportunity to stay at. So I have an appreciation for this great once American brand that is now a Swiss owned and operated brand. So in the 1970s, a Swiss group acquired the Hamilton Watch Company, and that group eventually became the Swatch Group. So Hamilton, as we know today, is a Swatch Group brand, and they make some very solid watches. I think a lot of you watching would agree with me. ETA modified movements, good finishing, good design, good specs and power reserve and all of that stuff. They offer a lot for the prices that they ask for. So I appreciate modern Swiss Hamilton. I like the direction of the brand. But as a watch enthusiast and as a resident of the United States of America, I very much appreciate the history of this brand. And it's fun to go to those places in Pennsylvania and see the history. So I had an opportunity to do that. Hamilton just, had an anniversary for the brand, the 130th anniversary, going back again to 1892. And the brand from Switzerland came back to their birthplace, and they had a celebration at Brent Miller Jewelers in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Brent Miller Jewelers is an authorized dealer for Hamilton. They are actually the authorized dealer for Hamilton in the region, and they're a great AD. Now, let me tell you about this celebration because it was fascinating. There was some really unique pieces there, and I think you watch enthusiasts will really enjoy hearing about the experience. It was a lot more than just a fun party, and it was a fun party. We had great food and drink. There was a DJ. There were some awesome swag bags full of goodies for those that attended and purchased an item. So yes, it was a lot of fun, but it was specifically a Hamilton celebration that was very unique. Now, the first thing that made it unique was the fact that the Swiss brand CEO, Vivian Stauffer, came from Switzerland and brought with him some very cool prop watches that were used in various films over the decades. Hamilton has a rich history of working with Hollywood, and I'm sure a lot of you will recognize various watches in various films. But I saw a Ventura that was used and worn by Elvis in one of his films. I saw the Murph, from Interstellar, and it had a bunch of wires coming out of the back that obviously you don't see in the film, that are hidden from view in frame. But Vivian, the CEO of Hamilton, he actually took it out of the case and showed us how to operate the wires that made the seconds hand stutter. That was really cool to see. There was also the Tenet watches from Christopher Nolan's film Tenet. And just to take a look at the actual prop watches used in filming was a very unique experience, and one that not a lot of watch enthusiasts will have opportunity to participate in. Now, I'd like to just make a plug here real quick. Vivian, if by chance you're watching this video, I didn't get a chance to talk to you about this with everything going on, but I think Hamilton should definitely look into reissuing the prop watch that was used in Stanley Kubrick's masterpiece from 1968, 2001: A Space Odyssey. Now, I recognize that Hamilton did kind of a reissue of that some years ago, but it definitely was quite a bit different visually from the prop watch from the film. I think if you did a faithful recreation of that, that would be one of my all-time favorite watches, and I really hope you look into doing that. I think it would be a massive success if done properly. So, guys, I guess sound out in the comment section if you would like to see a limited recreation of that very very forward-thinking design for one of the most influential films of all time. Now, another thing that made this celebration very fun and very unique was the fact that Brent Miller Jewelers took most of the jewelry out of the showcase. They put it back in the vault, and they filled the cases with museum pieces of Hamilton's that were taken from the National Watch and Clock Museum, which is just about 10 minutes down the road in Columbia, Pennsylvania. Now, the National Watch and Clock Museum is a fascinating place to visit and spend some time in, whether you're going into the library or you're going through the various displays. There are one-of-a-kind items from everything related to horology from almost every era and country. It's really a fascinating place. But they have a vast collection of Hamilton-specific items. And so the National Watch and Clock Museum sent some of their best pieces to Brent Miller Jewelers specifically for this event. And so I went through the cases there at the store at this event, and I took a look at some very fun things, whether they were dials or pocket watches or, a Tiffany branded Hamilton. I didn't even know that Tiffany worked with Hamilton decades and decades ago. So that was really cool to see. I think the highlight for me was the Mars clock, the space clock, the desk clock that actually you got to walk around the back because it was in a pedestal, a glass pedestal. And so I saw the partially, a transparent shroud in the rear where I could make out some of the inner workings of this celestial timepiece. That was just a one-of-a-kind item to see up close. So the fact that there were all these museum pieces, we were in the birthplace of Hamilton as a brand. The CEO of Hamilton was there. He gave, a very nice talk to those in attendance. There was food, there was drink, there was a DJ, there were the prop launches. It was just a very fun time. And I'm looking forward to hopefully attending another anniversary celebration there in the region, perhaps if they do it for the 135th anniversary or the 40th or the 50th. I think it would be a lot of fun to attend. And if you're in the region, maybe you're a fan of history or Americana, or you really love Hamilton, the brand, the Swiss brand as we know today, I think it would be great to plan a trip to attend one of these celebrations because they're an absolute blast. Now, lastly, just in closing, there were a few limited edition watches and recent releases that were there in the case that I got to check out, and I will do a full review of a couple of these pieces. But one that really stood out was a solid gold limited edition of 14 karat yellow gold Ventura that is a very faithful recreation of an iconic design that was made famous by Elvis and was produced in the late 1950s and early 1960s. I had the thought that I enjoyed the brand doing something a little bit bold, right? They're celebrating their storied history. They did the pocket watch, but they're also doing this gold Ventura, and they're doing it at a higher price than we normally see from Hamilton, coming in over 5 figures. But I really liked that, that limited edition and the fact that they had the guts to do it. And it was fun to have hands-on with that watch. Here's just a quick picture of two side by side. You can see a gold-plated version, and you can see the actual precious metal version, which is a lot softer and warmer and more alluring. So all in all, just an absolute blast at this Hamilton celebration at Brent Miller Jewelers. I hope to see you there at the next one, whenever that may be. Links will be in the description. Have a great day. I'll see you guys next time.